Pimple on the face. Baby hairs look like, I don't even know what they look like. Hair is about bushy and dry as a mug. Hole in my shirt. Bed ain't even properly made up. Can you tell this is a spur of the moment video?
I've been watching you, so tell me what to do. I want it, girl, I need it. Give me all of you tonight.
Hi, I'm Tassie, and welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome home. And if you're a new subscriber, make yourself at home. So the way the weather is today in Cincinnati, and especially with like the whole coronavirus thing going on, I don't know if I'm gonna go out today, but I kind of planned with like my cousin and my friends and stuff like that we were gonna go out today and we were gonna go get drinks and stuff like that. So just in case we still do that, I'm going to do my hair. And considering the fact that I literally ran out of content ideas, I decided to take you guys on this journey with me to do this little thing right here. I actually do have an idea as far as like content goes, but the thing is, I don't know if I should do it in this climate yet. Like the series that I want to do is actually centered around like school and getting a new job and stuff like that. And I might do the jobs because I know a lot of people like they come home and get summer jobs and stuff like that. So like I might do that. But my other portion was gonna be about like going to college and things that you should know and the difference between PWIs and HBCUs. And I think I'm gonna wait until about probably August, September to do that. So for now, we're just gonna focus on like hair and wigs and stuff. So in a way, this would be like a get ready with me / wig review / hair tutorial. I don't know. We're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna go with it. Okay? So besides the obvious flimsy looking baby hairs, I bet you guys are looking at this hair like, well, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see why you would need to change it. Let me show you why I need to change it. First of all, yeah, that's the reason. Second of all, even though it looks decent, it doesn't look like how I had it in my last video, which I loved. So I want to emulate that, especially because it's a possibility that I may or may not be going out tonight. So it's like I want that to look a certain way, you know what I mean? Like I want it to look a certain way. So that's what we're gonna do today. We are going to crimp this hair, we are going to detangle this hair, and I will give you further information about this wig. And no, this is not sponsored, but let's get into the video. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is actually split this into 3 parts, and then I'm going to section them off with these hair ties. I'm doing them in 3 parts, possibly even 4 depending on how wide the back is, because I want the crimps to be at one. I want them to kind of flow together almost, but I also kind of sort of want them to be layered. So to get the best effect, I'm going to take them part by part, piece by piece, instead of layer by layer. And just in case anybody is curious, I got this hair from a lovely little website called Sam's Beauty. I have actually worn Sam's Beauty's hair before on my channel. You've seen one of them, which was my blonde. That was actually a wig. Sam's Beauty has a lot of cheap hair accessories and wigs and hair in general. I've never personally bought any bundles from them, but I got hooked on Sam's Beauty based off of some other YouTuber on here. I really don't remember her name. I totally forget her name, but she was a YouTuber on here and she was the one that told me about her bundles and how she made her wig out of the bundles that she bought from them. But I discovered their wigs, and their wigs are actually pretty decent. I forget the name of this one. I really do forget the name of this one, but she was not originally crimped. She was almost like a crimped wavy looking thing, and I think she was, if anything, she was probably about $30. They do have more high-end wigs on their site, which are like probably $200, $100, sometimes even $500. But some of their other wigs that are like cheaper, they're actually decent quality, really. This one clearly can take heat, so you know that's always a plus. I never attempted to dye any hair, like that's just not my thing, so I can't really sit there and say if it'll take dye really good, but I'm pretty much satisfied with the hair that I have. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to put this into 4. Thought I could cheat the system. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually take my brush and detangle it and comb out as many crimps as I possibly can. I'm mainly doing this because the hair is kind of sort of, well, it's not that bad, but it's like it's kind of tangled. And there's no point in doing your hair, crimping it or curling it in any way if it's gonna be like a bunch of knots in it. Like that's just pointless in my book. So we're going to detangle this section before we start to crimp it. Now for me, I think other people, they would possibly put product on theirs just to give it like a natural little bounce or make it hold a little bit better, but like I said, this is decent hair for me, so it's honestly been holding up the crimps for a good amount of time to where I didn't really need any products to hold it. I mean, you can see it right here that the crimps are still very much there, and look how easy it was to brush that out. Like now it's just kind of like a loose crimp. It almost looks like natural hair. It's cute, but that's not what I want, so maybe a later time. I'm going to look ridiculous, but this is what I look like when I'm getting ready, so bear with me. So anyways, with this hair, I am actually going to take 2 sections of this portion of my hair and I'm going to crimp them individually because like I said, I want it to all kind of migrate together and just be one with each other. And I'm going to brush it out just a little bit more just to make sure that everything is smooth and a-okay. Oh, and I also wanted to point out that this actually is like a synthetic blend of hair, and I know that the misconception is that a lot of synthetic hair and a lot of synthetic wigs can't take heat. They can't take high heat. They can't take extreme heat like if you were giving yourself a silk press, but they can take heat. They very much can take heat. It's not that bad. So just a tip. And yes, I have a very ancient crimper. Okay, this is probably from like the 90s, possibly even early 2000s. No, this is definitely early 2000s because I think the 90s was still using the ovens. But we have those too. I still live with my mom. I can go downstairs and show you, but I don't feel like it. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're going to open this up and we're going to go as close to the root as possible and we're gonna hold it. Now for me, what I did, believe it or not, I kept it on for like a minute. Like that's probably like super scary for a lot of people, but literally I kept the crimps on my hair for like a minute in each section, a minute for each little crimp or whatever, because it just gave me better results, whereas everything else, it was kind of like the natural flow that I just showed you guys earlier, and I didn't want that. So we're gonna wait a whole minute until it crimps completely. And because it's at the base, you guys probably aren't going to see the effect as good. Once I get to like the bottom parts over here, it'll probably be flawless. But for right now, we're just gonna do what we need to do. And release. And boom. Like I said, you probably can't see it that much because we're at the base, and that's one thing that I realized was that the base part, for some reason, just doesn't take the crimp or the curl as much as the rest of the hair, but it'll all flow together somehow when it cools off. That's when the crimps start to show, but I don't know why that is. So then we're gonna go down to the next section and we're going to repeat the same process, and we're gonna hold it there for about a minute. Hey Siri, set my timer for a minute. Oh fuck, I'm recording. I can't. Well, you can kind of start to see it now, like just a little bit. So yeah, it's not that hard, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with like showing you each and every crimp or like each and every section. So I'm going to just speed up this process, and I will see you guys when I am done with this whole entire side of my hair. So as you can see, this is just one section of the first section, and the crimp actually came out very, 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 very nice, and it looks completely different than what we seen earlier, correct? And for me, I always do the very ends. Like, I'm such a stickler about that. I need for my whole entire head to blend together. So as you can see in the video, yeah, I went all the way to the very, very tips of this to make sure that it was wavy and that it blended in with the rest of the hair, and that's what I'm gonna do for all of the sections. Honestly, that's something where it's like, if it's your prerogative, go ahead and do it. If you don't feel like it, you don't have to, but that's just me. I feel like I've talked too much about this whole entire thing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get this whole section of my hair done and then move on to the next one and come back to you guys. Okay, so this section is fully done. Now we're going to unravel the face beard, and we're gonna get started on this side as well. Now the only reason why I'm getting started on this side is because I want to show you guys exactly how I crimp my hair from root to tip, because me personally, and this is literally just me personally, this is not anybody else, but I personally hate that look where like people get the crimps in their hair but then this part is just completely flat. I hate that. Whether it's like crimped hair or curly hair, I literally hate the flat top. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And for me, I need everything. Everything needs to blend together. Everything needs to look ideal and exact. I cannot do a flat top. So I'm gonna do the same process that I did with the previous section on this part, and when we get to this top part, I will show you guys exactly what I mean and exactly how to do it. Okay, so now that we're done with the bottom portion of the second section of my hair, I'm going to show you guys how I do the top, which is close to the part in the wig. Now, first things first, I always take the sections by more sections. I like to get very, very detailed with my looks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this part and I am going to clip it over so that it's out the way, so I can better show you guys what I'm doing. And since it's so close to the closure, which is basically what you're going to be seeing the most, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get as close as possible to the root of it, and I'm going to leave this on there for about a minute. But in all honesty, sometimes I leave it on for more than a minute because I want to make sure that it is completely blended and completely together. So I'm gonna go at the very, 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 very top, and I'm gonna leave that going for a whole minute, possibly even longer. Ignore this part. This is actually supposed to be a part of this, but it somehow got lost. So just ignore that. We're gonna just leave this on here for a minute though. Okay, so I think you guys should be able to see that little hump there. That's what I want. I like to get as close as I possibly can to ensure that it flows together and that it all is crimped to perfection. So we're gonna speed through this section of my hair so we can go on to the next half.
DC on the track, boy.
Okay, so we have half of the head done, and as you can see, there is a huge difference between the two. This is really the goal. This is exactly how I wanted my hair to look. This is exactly how I wanted it to emulate the texture. This is exactly how I wanted it to look. This is how I wanted it to emulate the texture. The other side really isn't that bad, but like I said, that wasn't really the look that I was going for, so I'd rather be with this side instead of the other side. So now that you guys have an idea of how I do my crimps and just the general look that I wanted to go for, I'm going to do the other half off camera, and I will come back to you guys and lay these annoying, obnoxious baby hairs. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back. This is the finishing product. This is the finished result. on both sides, and as you can see, as I said earlier, there were certain parts where like I think it had to like cool off first, like it was too hot to really show the actual crimp. So yeah, they came through. Certain parts I tried to go over them to give them a little bit more oomph, but some of them I think this is the best we'll do. Honestly, I'm not too mad about it. It's cool. But now we're gonna go to these little babies right here. So what I'm gonna do for that is I'm actually going to tie my hair back a little bit, because sometimes random hairs can easily go into the baby hairs, and then it'll just get all confusing, and then it'll just be a mess, and I don't have time for that. And I don't know if I covered this before, but this wig actually did come with baby hairs. I trimmed them down a little bit though, because I felt like they were like super duper long. And some of them I kind of added it to the other baby hairs because I wanted it to look kind of natural in a way. So what I usually to lay my edges is usually just regular gel. I don't really do too much, sometimes even edge control. But these things right here, for some reason, it is really hard for them to lay down. So what I use is gel along with a little bit of beeswax, and it tends to stay very, 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 very long time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take about a finger full of beeswax. I think that is a good enough amount. If you can see it, that's good enough for me. And then I'm going to lightly dip it in some of the gel. Not too much, because beeswax already has a hold, but this just makes it stick a little bit more. So I'm gonna zoom this in so that you guys can see it a little bit more, but I'm going to take my baby hairs and I'm actually just going to coat them with the mixture that we just made. And you want to make sure you kind of get all of the product on there, you get all the sides, instead of just putting it directly on your skin. It doesn't make a huge difference as to if you put it directly on your skin or if you just do exactly what I'm doing. I just prefer to do it this way. That way I know that I'm using all of the product that I made, because it is extremely important for me to use all of it, considering the fact that it's always having a problem with laying down. And I really hope you guys can see this clear. I tried to zoom in on my camera, but it wouldn't let me, so I'm just gonna like zoom in on it when I edit. So excuse me if it doesn't come out as A1 as it should, but I'm trying. So this is what we look like when we have officially applied the product. So now I am going to take my broken edge tool. I forget what it's called, but it's supposed to help you lay down your edges, and it has like a comb attachment and a brush attachment, and all I have is the brush attachment. We are going to separate the baby hairs into two different sections. Make sure they're little even sections at least. Now after we have separated them into two sections, we are going to take the brush and we are going to take a comb just in case we need it. And we are going to use the comb first. I usually use the comb first just to make sure that it's in place, and then I go over it with the brush to make sure that it blends in. So we're gonna put this one over here, and then we're gonna put this one over this way. And now we're going to incorporate the broken brush. So when I'm laying these down, I like for them to kind of go, how do I say this? Almost up under the wig. Almost. That way it looks like it's actually coming out of my scalp or out of my head or whatever. I'm kind of sort of struggling to do this because my mirror is actually the thing that's holding my camera up right now, and I can't really see it, so I don't even know if this is completely good or not. Let's see. And I don't know if this applies for everybody, but sometimes when I'm doing my hair, one side will cooperate and the other one just does not want to work, and I think that's what's going on right now. Embarrass me in front of all these people on this camera. Cool. And also, don't be afraid to add more product if you feel like you need more. There's nothing wrong with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take one of my scarves and I'm going to lay it down. Now me personally, I'm not going to lie to you, I lay my edges down for like an hour. Like, I usually lay my edges as I'm doing my makeup. Like, I just, I'm not gonna play with y'all. But I think that the normal time to lay edges is probably like, what, 10-20 minutes? Not that long, but that's just a personal preference. So we're gonna let that lay for about 10-20 minutes, and then I'll come back to you and show you the finished product. And I may or may not do my makeup. It just depends on how I'm feeling right now, because I'm kind of hungry. I didn't eat before I made this video, so we'll see. Okay, so this is the finished result, but I don't understand why this one is like having a stroke for some reason, but okay, let's just go with it, I guess. I mean, I guess. Never mind, I'm too bougie of a bitch. I fixed it. That's so much better.
Say Mr. Sleep, bro.
Okay guys, so that is it. I am finally done with my hair. Did a little something to my face. Kind of decided, no, we're not gonna go out tonight. The weather is so ugly today and I just don't have time for it. So I'm probably just gonna stay in the house and take a few pictures, because I need to take more pictures for my Instagram. By the way, you should follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, and all my other social medias as well, honey. Don't leave anybody out. You know you love me. So with that being said, this is the end of the video. Still need to get my nails done. My birthday has passed. I still have not got my nails done. I am slipping up, child. I am slipping up. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and comment down below if you want more reviews about wigs or hair in general, and share if you can. So with that being said, I will see you next time.